Welcome to Kickstarter Radio 102.4, and today, WTF is Arkenshield, the Gates of Tian. Now, we actually got this game as a preview copy and have played it many times, so Lipstickpaddy is going to give you a massive in-depth review of this game and look through the Kickstarter to see how it makes him feel about the promise of getting this game finally in its full final version. So Lipstickpaddy, please take it away. Well, hello and welcome to the Kickstarter of Arkenshield, the Gates of Tian. Now, I had the pleasure of receiving this game to try it out, and it was absolutely great. So I'll tell you all about it as we go down the page to explain things and see how the Kickstarter is, and I'm very excited to see what else is here, because when you play the game, you have a thirst for more. So let's have a look. Now, backers are jumping on this because it had a Kickstarter early on in the year, but it pulled it off early due to a little bit of misunderstanding of all the expansions that were planned for it and etc. It got pulled anyway, and it went through a few design things. On this image here, you've got like an early design image of the cards being black and white, but they have been iterated on and will be in color, which hopefully we'll see when we go down the page. Anyhow, let's go down. Now, it's deck building, yes, it's a little bit of a Euro game at its heart, really. But yeah, deck building, of course, and mercantile, because you've got to rotate the shop all the time. And I would also say a little bit of a racing game also. You're racing each other. Now, 1 to 4, it has a solid solo mode. It says ages 14 plus, but I reckon I could play this with an 8-year-old no problem, I'd say. It's not very adult in theme at all, so, you know, why can it not be a bit less? And, like when I played it with just 2-player, my friend said, let's play it again tomorrow night, and when we played it the next night, he thought we could play 2 games in one night, but it actually, because we thought it'd be much quicker on a second play, but it actually took us like 90 minutes. So this 30-minute time, even if you've played it before, 2 people played it before, there's no way you can blitz through this in 30 minutes. I don't know how they've managed that. Anyhow. Now you can see the board here as it's set up on the table. I'll put an image up here of what it looked like when we set it up, because it has a great table presence, which you can see here, and this beautiful map cloth that you can put on the table to make it look like a special event, which everyone who invited around to play it with thought it was like an incredible special event because of this big table cover. It really set the gaming night off with aplomb. Now, what we're seeing here is like a 2-player setup, and you're basically racing from left to right. I'll say that much. So here at the beginning is when you set off, and as you go left to right, you are basically have to spend cards to do stuff. I'll explain it as we go down the page because it's hard to do it off this image, but here we go. So we can see here they've started painting them in. It looks a lot better than just black and white in my opinion, and really the theme is just light in the game. It really is. So yeah, I really like the setting and the themes. I kind of agree with that. The theme is light though. You don't actually feel like you're in the world or anything like that. There's not much storytelling, if any. I think you have the making for a hit. Yes, it is. It's like a Euro. It's a Euro game, but it's wrapped up in a racing game with deck building and also the mercantile, because in the middle of the table here, you need to spend to actually see more. The adventure's coming from the deck, and if you're not buying from the shop, the adventure becomes stagnant. Now in a 4-player game, the deck is rotating fast, But in a 2-player game, the only way to rotate it is to try and buy stuff, even if you don't want it in your deck, just to see what's coming. Anyhow, fantastic solo experience. It is a fantastic solo experience, yeah. I'll rate it 9.1 out of 10. Well, for me, it was lacking a little bit of adventure because you're just going across the board. It has like lots of stories that could be told, but the devs told me now that when you get to the center, which is like the great city in the center here, something's going to happen. So it is begging for a bit of story here and there and all that stuff. And I was told that the expansions would bring in some content where you'd be going off this path, so you're going off the race to actually go and do an objective, whether it's to go and capture something, defeat something, go and rescue someone, or something like this. So first things first, yes, I was a tester, I was a critic, and I'm coming in here to see how it is developed now from when I played it. Now, the new coloured illustrations are looking phenomenal. We all got to vote on this as testers, and they pulled it through, and look at this, they took out Mention to Heart, so awesome sauce here indeed. More intense interaction between the players. Did it really need more? We had enough in the main one, but yes, there is a little bit of take that in here, which can kind of slow your trip on the journey and do stuff like that. Anyway, the Gates of Tian. Now, several game dynamics, yes. Deck building, like I've said, is there. The fellowship is crucial. Yeah, you need to kind of get your party, because you can't actually advance along the path unless you've got a bigger party. So that kind of slows you down. There is a huge variety of cards, from picking up gear for yourself, events that are happening, enemies that are coming through the deck, and stuff like that. Certainly easy to pick up, fairly easy to learn, and a great rule book actually, how it teaches you step by step how to play it. Now, interactions and special abilities, the tavern and the merchant, these are kind of randomized out when you play, and they just let you burn cards from your deck and stuff like that. I did say that the tavern or the merchant, it'd be nice if a shop opened up, something like that, because it's basically you just go there and you're selling your creatures that you picked up on your journey and stuff like that. So it needed a bit more depth. We'll see anyway. I mean, without all my suggestions, it's a Euro game at heart, through and through. Really is. Use your skills to invade enemy territory. Now, what is this? Because in my playthrough, it didn't have these cards, which are kind of cards like a raid where you're going off and attacking. So we'll see this. You definitely need to recruit companions. It's essential. You need better equipment, because the equipment you get, it gives you a currency. And when you pull equipment from your deck, you're getting more currencies to then spend in the shop. The currency will either be green, which is like spending, or red, which is attacking. If an enemy comes out, you need red currency off your item. So, for example, a shield's going to give you green, and a sword's going to give you red. You need swords in combat. You need reds in combat. You need green for the shop. Now, follow along with the campaign. Are they talking about this campaign? They certainly are. Nothing to do with the game. You can $1 pledge, it's saying here, or €1 pledge. Now you can get the core game for $49. It's certainly a good, I'd say, feels like retail. I'll say that. The actual boards themselves, the art on the board is really good. It really is. But I can't stress enough that if you went for the retail game, you'd be like, I need extra cards, because it calls itself a deck builder and you need extra cards. You really do. Because after a few playthroughs, you're going to be burnt through that deck and you know what's coming. And you're like, why isn't there more stuff? I want to see more stuff. You'll be begging for more. Anyway, expansion, final extinction. We'll have a look at this. And hopefully in the stretch goals, there is lots more content. Because if you go back to the original Kickstarter, they were promising loads of stuff like legendary weapons and raids that you could go on and meatier bosses to fight, things like this. All right. Now it says here the aim of the game. The royal city of Tharayun is the starting point of your expedition all the way across the continent. They're talking about the race from left to right on your board. From here you'll set out and face thrilling adventures and perilous challenges. Now, is it really a thrilling adventure? Well, because there's no story being told, all you're doing is pulling from your deck to advance along the path, or pulling from your deck to spend in the shop. It does, I wouldn't say thrilling, unless they've changed it. Because if there's anything missing, is the sense of adventure. It really is. It's like a Euro game at its heart. Alright. Like when you're passing through all this and advancing the depths of impenetrable fortresses, it's just like one tile, same as the other tile. They're all the same. There might be increasing difficulty in the draw of the enemy that you come out, but I would never call it an impenetrable forest. So this is storytelling of what's going on, but it's abstract from the game. It really is. Because it sounds like you're going on an epic journey here. Leave the Great Salt Desert behind. That's going on one tile to the next. You wouldn't even notice it if I hadn't told it to you. Go to the Nowhere Trial, find a way through, and this adventure that they're talking about, you don't even experience it at all, really. The greatest test awaits you. What's that? I don't know. I'm going to explain this when we don't know. Overcome epic tests. I can't remember seeing any of them. Vanquish the mighty walls of the Citadel. It didn't happen in the retail box that they sent me. Be the first to hold the crown of princess in the northern lands, to claim the glory. In other words, plus 15 victory points. So, really, this story is just an abstraction from what's happening, because you're basically moving. Like, one turn you're here, you pull the deck, 5 cards, you get the currency. The enemy will pop over and you need a certain amount of red or green to defeat the enemy. You actually claim from the board as well what tile you're on, and going left to right, there's no difference in location other than the further right you go, the more difficult that tile will be to overcome, and you actually need a bigger fellowship the further right you go. But you don't necessarily feel like you're in any of these locations that they're saying. It's an abstraction at best. Now, the cards have upgraded, and when you get these, they're just going to give you a currency per round. So you can see this red icon here. This is going to give you 2 per round. But because the deck is random, you might get a lot of non-combat cards. So you just got these reds here that are useless to you, but they can be turned into victory points if you don't spend them in the round. Notice it goes from a pose to a more dynamic pose and also coloured in, and it's showing you a little bit of art in the world, so pulling you into the theme a little bit better here. So yes, I do like it better. And you can see the big upgrade that they went through. This extra time they had to make it has been very good indeed. And you can see these cards here with the red icon on. These need 2 red currencies to defeat. Very easy cards come up. As soon as you've defeated that card, you're going to pull a new card into the shop. I'm going to call it a shop because you feel like you're buying stuff. It's like you're buying an enemy with your currency. Oh, the sword has completely changed as well. They've done a really big pass on these. This Sword of the First Champions, very expensive. 8 influence to get this. Oh my god, that's an expensive sword. But it does give you a victory point plus 5 attack currency. That's pretty good. That's a really good sword. Now, Tavern card. What this is about is the tavern will be put on your journey at random. You've got this deck here. You pull a card from the deck and it'll tell you which position the tavern's on. So some players might reach the tavern before other people just because of this random nature. That's how that works. Alright, so here's the box. Now, boards are beautiful. I love the detail on them. It really is nice. And there are events in the deck where your companions can go through certain effects. So their mood might get better or their mood might get bad, and you get less per round if that event is happening. There are take that cards that can make one of your companions betray you and go to the other player. So that's nice as well. And there are cards that can curse all your team for 1 round, so they have less experience to move forward and stuff like this. The cards then, the heart of the game. Now, 175 different cards, 24 of them are different, and they're basically going to be building your deck out. Your enemies here that you're going to be fighting straight for victory points when you defeat them. The events, you've only got 10 of these, and really, if you add all these up into the deck, the chances of an event coming out are very rare. And I even played one game where not even one event came out. So that's all due to the random nature of it. And emotions, this is talking about your actual team. It can have low or high spirits, and it can affect your round. These challenge cards are solo mode, and you can see you've got 6 challengers here to race against, which makes it interesting because you've got 6 playthroughs, 6 challenges to go through, so that's nice. These expedition cards are due to 1 player as well. Now these movement tokens, you've got more than you need, and you'll be randomly putting these on the map so you don't see what the enemy is below, which you'll uncover on your journey. And some of these though can be very lucky. Like you might get 1 turning over, and if you defeat the enemy, it will give you the chance to burn 2 of your cards, and that's like a really lucky one to get. So you can get lucky in the journey. Now influence, this green's going to be more important than power because a lot of stuff is going to be green in the shop. For example, 175 cards that you need green currency and 81 cards where you're going to need red currency. I'm just going to call it currency. And I wish I really wish there was more enemies. We'll see how it plans out, because sometimes you get too much green and not many enemies on the path that you're on, and all that good stuff. Now you can see meeples for the tavern and the people. I believe it's going to stretch out to where these become minis, but it's basically just an icon on the map that's moving left to right. I think it's a little bit extra if you get a mini. It doesn't really matter what the mini is, but there we are. Fantastic manual though, really like it. We won't have much questions after. It's pretty simple, done really well. Now here we go, this is the meat of it, where it becomes more exciting. So a lot more enemies. Yes, box needs it. Boss cards, can't wait, definitely have them in. Special items, only 2 special items. Mounts, what's the mount all about? It's very interesting, and an extra event, whoopee-doo. We do like the idea it is expanding, and there is potentially going to be more expansions with more stuff in, like with raids, legendary cards, and stuff like that. So keep an eye on this campaign. If I get 100 views on the video, I will come back assuredly to talk about all the updates that's coming through, because I imagine there's going to be extensions to it, certainly. This box looks a little bit, increases the enemies, yes, but it's not increasing items too much, and stuff like that. Other boxes should include raid content and adventure maybe, and also extra classes to play with and stuff like that. Now, early bird. Limited edition, these are unique items. These are legendary items. Very expensive, 8 cost of these. Really expensive. So these are like mega legendary cards that they're giving you here, and this is why I'm doing the video early, because this is very important. I would be very sad not to get this, and it potentially is going to be an add-on if you miss it. Right, so yeah, table presence, very good. If you see this being played, you'll definitely be interested. It's sad that these pictures don't have their updated art on there, but it is what it is. Choose your path wisely. It's funny it says this. You could take the faster trip to the top, but if you take the faster trip, you're not going to have the victory points at the end of the game. It is as simple as that, because every step you get is a chance of getting more victory points. So, which is why when we played it a second time, we ended up, the game was a lot longer because we were trying to milk points and go through the deck, and all games after that too. So now choose your path wisely. So yes, there's a strategy involved on the race. For factions, you know, it really didn't matter what race you got, or it didn't really affect it. If anything, it's just a number game, and again, it's just light theme on the top. You know, there's no story based on these. You don't have any backstory or anything of who these are, or it's just the cards are different. It's, you know. But nice here how it goes from like concept art to first passive art to final passive card. But it colours it in. And you can see that these are giving you currency every turn. Cards that you're pulling in your deck, you can see here weapons give you red, and armor shields giving you green. Combat is these reds that come out, and if a green one comes out, that's companion. Now we can see here on the path, every turn you get a chance to move forward. There will be a tile that you turn over one of these tiles and it'll have an enemy on it. The enemy is just, it's a gate is what it is. You don't actually get hurt or anything, it just blocks the path like a gate. There's no combat in here at all. There's no risk reward. It's just, do you have the currency to move on? So the one here, you're going to need 4 influence and 4 of the red. What are they calling the red? I'll just go up here. It's annoying me, this calling it red. Power. Influence power. All right. Now, where was I? Here we are. Your actual task is also to lead an expedition to the north in order to be the first to climb the citadel, if possible. Let me just translate that away from this. It's a race to get to the final path section because you get 15 victory points which can swing a win towards you. And you don't feel like you're climbing the citadel. So here, each rectangle you're on, then it gives you like a currency per turn, which is nice. You'll see some of them are giving more of one, more than another as you go through. Like the blue numbers here, that's how many companions you need in influence. So in order to go on to the number 2s here, you actually need a companion with 2 experience to get on that, which this can be difficult to get. Here we go then. The cards, different cards you're getting. Like there's too many greens, you might not see reds for a while, then you might see a lot of reds, but you're going to be having lots of turns where those red powered icons are just turning to victory points and it's singing "I am a Euro" at you. It is indeed. Travel and merchant, recruit new companions at the tavern, and 1 companion you can get at the tavern. Then it switches to a merchant and it says you can sell cards, you can't buy any. And these global events that are happening, they don't really feel like much. It's just affecting your turns, that's all it's doing. So yeah, the essence of the game. You're racing left to right in a Euro game with deck building to turn over the mercantile part of the game, which is this shop. 5 cards that you need to get through as quick as possible. So you're buying cards even if you need to rotate this shop as quick as you can, really, to get your deck builder and pull out cards and see what the journey is all about. The cards, you see. And I really thought, I really felt that I wanted to just grab this deck, pull all the red cards out of it, and always have a card that is combat focused. This is not intended, but you can be going rounds and rounds without no combat cards coming through, and it's frustrating because you've specifically been buying cards for combat and there's none coming out. So yeah, I would have 1 deck combat, 1 deck none, and I would maybe, out of the 5 spots, have 1 spot combat. That's the way I do it. Or you could do it 2 if you wanted, but you need to put it in, because otherwise you're going along this adventure with no things happening other than buying stuff along the way in this middle section, the central board. Now, This is just how it sets up on the table if you've got different players. Again, they're drawing this up into a bit of lore with the strategies. Now it says download the guide. The guide's really good. Walking you through, you'll get an immense sense of how the game plays. One player mode is actually quite interesting when you get it. Pardon me, I am working very early after working late, so let me take a drink of my coffee. You get some videos of solo play just to whet your appetite, see how that is, but it'll certainly be great. And you're gonna feel, I wished I'd got the stretch goals and the expansions. If you get this game, it needs more content. It needs it. Upgrade the playing cards to 350 G. That's big. That's a big one coming in early. Upgrade the victory points to thicker. It's interesting, the gold ones will be thicker. Not thicker, bigger. There we go. Bigger. So the actual gold are actually going to be bigger in size. Alright. New heroes are coming through a stretch goal. That's nice. We're getting 2 stretch goals, which is just heroes. Ah, okay. These are stuff that comes out of the deck, you know, and you can throw someone out of your companion. You can throw a companion out of your group if a better one comes along. This one's really good, this Fossa guy here. 2 victory points per round, plus a blue. I'm all for that. Looks like this guy here can maybe burn a card. Ooh, they're really good, the Fossa. So good flavour. And also when you get your companion, you're building it out, you get a bonus on the different races that you've got. So if you've got 2 Fossa in your group, you get a bonus for that. You'll also get a bonus if you've got a group with different races in it and things like that. Much more to capture. It definitely needs it. Stuff it needs is more combat cards. And instead of just racing left to right, you need a point where you need to stop and do something, like go and do a raid. Dev did tell me this was promised, so again, this is going to be an evolving Kickstarter, peeps, and I would suggest at least getting a reminder on, because it is going to grow into something substantial. Now, the social stretch goals are non-related to the game. Now you can see us, we're here, Kickstarter Radio 102.4, and proof that we got it, we are. And I'll tell you, I did like the game, I do love it, but it needs combat, and that's why I'd split the deck up. I would indeed. Yeah, it's true. We had a great night with 4 people, and I won with 205 points, which was epic. The race was very tight at the end, and I ended up using magic to stop my opponent from progressing, which it was like one of those moments where you stand up in excitement and we're getting near the end. Who's going to claim these 15 victory points? And oh, the take that cards were coming out, and oh, it was great. And yeah. We cannot wait to see how that main deck gets expanded, as the base game will whet your appetite for more. I can't stress that enough, peeps. I can't stress it enough. And all that good stuff. So I guess at the minute, we are just waiting to see what else comes up. And look at that lovely shipping price to Mexico. And I tell you, shipping from Germany is mega fast. Quick off story here. Ordered something from England to Mexico, took 4 months. Ordered something from Germany, took 3 weeks. So what's going on there? Probably the city of Hamburg, biggest port in Europe, and all that good stuff. It says they've got Quartermaster for each region. How have Quartermaster got Mexico for 33 euros or $40? Because I've seen Quartermaster charging Mexico over $100 for a board game. So how is this going on, Quartermaster? I'm going to have to investigate that, aren't I? Lots of stuff down here. That is... Oh my god, have you ever seen so much fluff at the bottom? Alright, peeps. Arkenshield. If you like Euro games, you're going to love this because it's in an interesting theme, light as it is. Great racing game. Good deck builder. And a great mercantile section, as you're going to be buying stuff just to uncover juicier stuff on the journey. Now, let's get a reminder on it. Where's the reminder button? I'm not even logged in. Fancy that. All right, let's look at the pledges again. So it's coming in August next year, so it's fairly advanced and developed at this stage, and I'm guessing the stretch goals and any expansions that come out might need to be worked on, but I can't wait to see them. I may have to €1 pledge it just because there's so much on Kickstarter at the minute, and we're strategizing our payments, so it just has to be done that way. We are not mega rich. We need to balance the books. Now, when I eventually do fulfill the pledge, though, there is no way I'm getting this one. No way I'm sticking with that. If any of you people are in this pledge, you need to upgrade. I guarantee you there's not enough here. Let me just say, I come from a background of Talisman, where I've got a massive deck, which excites me every time I play the game. Here, I've played through the deck. I've played through it. I know what's coming. That needs to be bigger. And I know what should be coming, and it's not come out yet. Where is it? I'm shouting at the deck. So I'm jumping up to the next pledge, €75. And what's interesting is the game was originally made in Germany on its first Kickstarter, and the Kickstarter price was very high. They have switched manufacturing to China now, so they've got it a lot less, and that's good to see. But 75 here, I want to pay more for more. So if more expansions come out, I would have to and get every expansion that comes out, because the stuff promised, which sounds great. And hopefully, if I get 100 views, I'll come back in 48 hours at the end of the campaign, and I will tell you exactly how much all that stuff excites me, because this game, if it gets all that's promised on this Kickstarter, it's going to be the best Euro game in my collection. I can guarantee it, because I love the deck building, I love the mercantile, the shop, how it's updating all the time, telling you the story through what's coming in the shop. And it's got that racing Although you're aware that you're collecting points all the way through, just like a Euro. You've got that whole end game of counting up all your equipment and stuff to see how much experience points you've got. However, as promised, we should be able to get off that path and go and do something, because there's more victory points if we go on a quest or something, like a raid to actually go and attack some enemies. That's why we're building up our power deck, because at the minute your power deck's getting underserved because of lack of enemies, and the fact that there isn't an enemy draw every turn. It's all in one deck, so you might get turns of just greens coming out, and you've got reds here every turn going, these are wasting into victory points. And there might be an expansion also that extends the board out, which was one expansion. If you look at the original Kickstarter, the board actually went on, so the journey got longer. That's very exciting also. The playtime, I'd like it if the playtime was longer also, especially if the deck's bigger. Oh yeah. So, Arkenshield, do we recommend it? Yes, we do. We're going to be backing it. 100%. It's so good as a game. And again, my only negative is I want to see more in the deck. I want to see more stuff. I want to see the promises that were on the original Kickstarter fulfilled. And if I've got anything to stress to you is forget about the story and this epic adventure. There's none of that here. It is just a race, a Euro game, a deck building mercantile game. But for that, what it does, it's phenomenal. If it did bring a story, now that would get my ears burning, because there's a tale here not to be told. You know, this is potentially Arkenshield, the racing Euro game. But if an Arkenshield massive campaign game came out in the future, I'd be all into that. But this one certainly whets your appetite to know more about this world that they're in. And so there we go. Now, if the Kickstarter stays as it is and we don't get stuff like a board extension, raid cards that stops you on your path because you're trying to attempt this difficult raid, there's legendary equipment that you're chasing for, if none of that it comes to fruition, then I might change my view on it being recommended. So hopefully I'll get 100 views and I can come back and give you my final thoughts on it, because it needs it. It needs it! It's like someone saying, do you recommend playing Talisman? And I'll say to them, with the 4 corner boards, yes, I do. But Talisman on its own, no. It needs the expansions. And like Arkenshield, it needs expansion content 100%. So on that bombshell, peeps, thank you so much for watching. Please give it a thumbs up if you like the video. And yeah, remember, I will come back and do a final thoughts if we get 100 views of this epic Euro, and I can't wait to see what's coming on this Kickstarter. Well, there you go. This has been Kickstarter Radio 102.4. I've been your host, Lipstickpaddy. You take care, stay safe, and bye-bye for now.